Welcome to Sinful's Horror Stories. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe now and turn on all notifications for future content. If you want your story featured on an upcoming video, be sure to email me at thesinfulsavant@gmail.com. I will leave a link to my email in the description box below at the end. Tonight's video features true horrifying dark web stories. Sit back, relax, stay sinful. Many people don't know this, but there is a massive uncatalogued part of the internet called the deep web, to which the average person has no access. Just how deep is it? Estimates range from 500 times the size of the visible clear net to compromising a whopping 99.97% of the entire internet database. This is because the internet is shaped like an iceberg riddled with rabbit holes. And unless you're using a specialized browser such as Tor, I2P, or other darknet software, you're not going to fit down any of them. The fact is, the deep web is dangerous, scary, and at times illegal place to be. And if you don't know what you're doing, you should never, ever go there. But if you want to, it's super easy. You literally just have to download this browser. Number 1. Your guide, the Hidden Wiki. The Hidden Wiki is your ferryman into the digital river Styx. The Hidden Wiki's purpose is to aid in your navigation of the deep web. Its main pages serve as a directory to vast numbers of sites. Why is it so useful? Even though the Tor browser protects your identity by bouncing back your requests from servers across the world, there are always ways to track down a Tor user's IP. Combine that with the fact that you're usually within 2 clicks of something super violent or devastating, the deep web really isn't a place to stumble around aimlessly. For your own sake, use the wiki until you get the hang of things. Number 2. The Human Experiment. Arguably the most infamous locale on the deep web. The Human Experiment is a site detailing the less than ethical experiments of an anonymous group of doctors and medical students, hoping to prove, as their tagline suggests, that not all humans are created equal. For some of them were born superior to others. The site's About Us section is pretty straightforward. In this website, we attempt to illustrate several experiments that are being conducted by our group on human subjects. The people chosen for this range of experiments are usually homeless people that are unregistered citizens. Experimentations range from starvation and water fluid restriction, vivisection pain tolerances, infectious diseases and organ effects, transfusions, drug trials, sterilization, neonate and infant tolerances to X-rays, heat and pressure. Laboratory examinations are done at hospitals, where we take the samples and send them under other real patients' names. The results are carefully dispersed so as not to arouse suspicion. The bodies of the dead are dissected and then disposed of in dumpsters of meat shops, where their bodies will not be found. No IRB approval was sought for this secret range of experimentations. The High Command oversees all operations and designates potential targets. Those subjects also provided food and water. The site admits nutritional status is usually irrelevant, as none of the test subjects survived long enough, except the pregnant women. What makes the human experiment such a phenomenon is that in addition to its immorality, the test data of hypothermia and bleach injection experiments are eerily convincing. Although we may never know whether the human experiment is real or just an elaborate hoax, it wouldn't be the first time man has stooped to such a moral low. Fortunately, this site has not been updated since 2011. Number 3. Daisy's Destruction. As previously stated, 80% of deep web users are there for the abuse of children. That's not a rough guesstimate. That number arrived as the result of a 6-month study by England's University of Portsmouth. 2 February 2015 arrests shed light on not only the extremes of that 80%, but also the depths of human depravity. Enter Peter Scully, a 51-year-old Australian native currently awaiting trial in the Philippines for torture, murder, and fraud. Before his arrest, Scully ran an international pay-per-view site on the deep web in which he and his female partner Carmen Ann Alvarez tortured at least 8 young girls, including 1 infant. The site featured a series of videos titled Daisy's Destruction, and online visitors paid hundreds of dollars to watch them. Naturally, public outcry sparked an international manhunt, and in 2014, Philippine authorities teamed up with the National Police of the Netherlands, who had incidentally begun their own investigation into the case sometime earlier. Ultimately, though, Scully's downfall came after 2 potential victims escaped and were able to identify Alvarez. Alvarez confessed and revealed the locations of the houses in which the crimes took place. Beneath one such house, authorities unearthed a shallow grave containing the body of a small girl, who according to Alvarez was featured in Daisy's Destruction. Scully was detained shortly after Alvarez's confession, though his motives remain unclear. A remorseless Scully recently appeared in an interview with 60 Minutes, in which he appears baffled by his own actions, stating, "I don't know why I did it. I wasn't like that in Australia." Scully is currently in the process of writing a tell-all journal of his crimes. If convicted, Scully will face a life sentence for not only the aforementioned crimes, but also for scamming 20 or so investors out of a whopping $2.68 million while working as an Australian businessman. Number 4. Cheap swatting service. Swatting is the act of obtaining a victim's IP address and then anonymously and falsely reporting a critical incident, such as a bomb threat or hostage situation, to that location. The SWAT team then arrives on scene, kicks down a few doors, and generally disrupts everyone's day while costing taxpayers thousands of dollars. And it's huge on YouTube right now. Though the affected have extended all the way to politicians and pop stars, most investigators and victims are gamers who get attacked as a result of a bitter online rivalry. Swatting is also a service you can buy on the deep web through Cheap Swatting Service. CSS offers 3 negotiable priced options for the customer. $5, a mild situation. $10, a little worse. They'll bring many people and raid them. $20, the SWAT team comes and from there they can do anything. Despite penalties of up to 25 years to life, stiff sentences for the convicted have done little to curb this growing trend. This is because swatters are able to keep risk and subsequently service prices low by relying on simple and difficult to trace methods of police contact. Disposable phones, phone number encryption, and internet call services such as Skype have all proven cheap and invaluable tools for the common swatter. In an effort to crack down on this criminal nuisance, California Senator Ted Lieu recently passed a bill that holds convicted swatters accountable for the entire expense of their false raid. However, in response to the new legislation, Lieu himself was swatted after an anonymous source contacted the police with claims that the senator had just killed his wife. The FBI is now teamed up with international agencies to combat cybercrime. Number 5. The Silk Road. Often referred to as the Amazon.com of drugs, the 2011 launch of the Silk Road was a drug man's dream, and its genius lies in its simplicity. A reference to ancient Asian trade route, TSR works like this. The site provides a platform for dealers of various drugs. Users of the site protected by encryption browse the market. Drugs are paid for in Bitcoin. Dealer mails his brand out in an unmarked box. The user rates and reviews the product, thus maintaining quality dealers and weeding out scams. Whether the result of greed, vigilante capitalism, free market idealization, or simply a belief in providing safe and convenient access to mind-altering substances, the Silk Road is here to stay in one form or another. It's much like the whack-a-mole history of the Pirate Bay, for each time the FBI has shut down the site, once in 2013 and again in 2014, a new road takes its place. TSR has actually been functioning without its head since October of 2013, when founder-owner Ross William Ulbricht was arrested in public library. By all estimates, the road will continue to carry on, for now as Silk Road 3.0. Number 6. Buttery bootlegging. Buttery bootlegging is run by a professional kleptomaniac dangler, who for a negotiated price will steal nearly any item from the directory of hand-picked stores listed on his page. Simply email him the product you want, along with the bitcoins you're willing to pay, and old Dingle Dangle, he'll nab it for you. Once he does, a photo or video of the item alongside a placard that reads Dangler will be sent your way as proof. This guy also has an inventory of stuff he's willing to sell due to a combination of clients backing out of their payment at the last minute, and just because he saw an easy steal and jumped on the opportunity. The site has good reviews, so it's probably legit. Nevertheless, it's still an illegal service on the deep web. So as with most everything else out there, maintain a healthy level of skepticism on this one. Number 7. Hitmen for hire. Hitmen are one of those things that we like to pretend aren't real, but are, like your mother's sex life, and unfortunately evidence of both exists on the internet. The deep web is home to numerous murder for hire sites, the big three being Cthulhu, Unfriendly Solution, and Assassination Market. Cthulhu and US are similar in that they both offer solutions to common problems. In the words of the former, name a target, pay in Bitcoin, and wait a few weeks for the accident to happen. Each site offers its own unique benefit. Cthulhu provides a commission bonus of 1% of the total value of a referred friend's purchase, while US has more wiggle room for negotiation, sometimes accepting a half now, half later deal. Cthulhu also accepts Liberty Reserve, a currency not recognized by the US. Meanwhile, AM is a whole different ballgame, and more resembles something out of the Twilight Zone than an actual service. Referred to as a Kickstarter for murder, AM operates in markedly similar fashion to the popular crowdsourcing site. Potential victims are added to a public list of targets. Users bid bitcoins on when they believe a chosen target will die. Most accurate bidder takes home the pot at the time of the target's death. The underlying assumption here is that the site's users can expedite the death process themselves in accordance with their bets, thus creating hitmen rather than hiring them. But considering that AM only has 5 current targets, all of them who are living celebrities, including Justin Bieber, the site is more of a cheap gag than anything. Still, if you have no regard for the sanctity of human life, these sites are a smart way to go about offing a living person as they eliminate the hassle of you, a mild-mannered business type with no criminal background, having to go through shady Russian nightclubs in search of a hookup. Thank you guys for all watching and listening. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe for future content. I hope you guys enjoyed today's dark web video. Email your true scary stories too. thesinfulsavant@gmail.com. Until we meet again, stay sinful.